Welcome to your doom.
What's up, folks? This is Justin.
This is Otto.
And we're back. This is the Welcome to Your Doom show. We've kind of taken like an impromptu hiatus. It wasn't really planned. It was just life sucks.
Yeah,
It
yeah.
just gets too busy.
Yeah, I was super busy. I started a new job in August, and, I'm really liking it, but, it's keeping me busy. So lots to learn, lots of new stuff to learn. So it's, getting home and just feeling like...
Can't you just manage any project? Why is this project so much different than the last ones you've managed as a project manager?
You'd think all projects were the same. A lot of times when I'm looking for jobs, I read a project manager description, and I'm reading it, and I'm like, oh, stuff sounds really, different. It's just not reading, the regular sort of project manager description I've seen. And then I realize it's for, construction. It's a completely different vertical. I'm like, oh my God, they have project managers for things other than software. This is crazy. But yeah, it's it's been fun, and it's been incredibly educational, and I really love the people I work with, and it's all going really well. Just it's just keeping me busy.
Nice.
So
that's good. Good busy though, right?
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
That's
absolutely.
Good. Okay, we're back after some weird glitch. That was strange. I could hear the bird did it.
Yeah.
No, there was some kind of weird feedback that just all of a sudden happened, and I could just hear myself with a 3-second delay. It was weird.
And that's really distracting.
Extremely.
It's distracting.
I don't think it was actually recording properly either, so it was a travesty on multiple
okay.
things.
So we have to redo the beginning?
No. I'll keep it.
Okay.
Yeah. It was just the end of the beginning.
Okay. The end of the beginning.
As it usually comes. After the beginning is the end. But
right.
The end could also be a new beginning, if you look at it that way.
If you're watching the YouTube video, you'll notice that we are outside again. It is the end of September. Really great time of the year.
I'm in a T-shirt.
Yeah. It is the best time. We've been getting some weird weather here in Toronto, too. It's been hot for, the last week. And I was just so done with it. I'm done. Summer, get out of here.
I sweat all the time. I went to my osteopath appointment this morning, and
what is an osteopath? I don't know what that is.
Okay, the best way.
The best way I can
describe
it. Sorry,
no, because it's weird. It's kind of this. Okay, it's like somewhere in between a masseuse and a physical therapist. They kind of focus on the joints and the movement of your body, and they kind of try and work through the kinks. Think of it this way: if you've got a squeaky joint,
yeah,
you kind of just work it through the motions, and then it kind of loosens it up.
Yeah.
That's kind of how I look at what an osteopath does. Whereas a massage therapist is looking to get the stuff around the joints.
Oh, okay.
Kind of needed.
Sure.
Physical therapist is more about the actual function and shit, whereas the osteopath kind of works the joints. Is the way I look at it.
All
so
right.
my back has been a nightmare the
really?
last few days. Dude, I was in the middle of a squat and almost died.
Oh, my brother was telling me this. You told him this story.
Did I?
Yeah, I think you told him the
God.
story. Yeah.
It was right at the bottom of the squat, and then my back just went, all right, I'm done. And I was
did
at
you fall forward?
Yeah. Dude, I was like this.
Oh, man.
Sorry, if you're watching on YouTube, you can see my arm, but I was, in a good form technique, and then all of a sudden my lower back just completely gave out.
And you just went, phew.
Just went forward. I managed to not fall on my face. I had the safety
But you had the
racks
bar
up.
around your head, around your back of your neck,
on the
right?
back of my neck, yeah. So what ended up happening was I had the safety racks up, so I was able to catch it. But what ended up happening was I still managed to control the weight with just my legs and whatever back power I still had.
Oh.
And then I lowered it down to the safety racks.
Oh, buddy.
But it was bad.
That is dangerous.
It was not good, man. And it wasn't even that I think I had done a lot of sets up until that point, so I was tired, but it wasn't that much weight for me. And it ruined my life for a day because I was terrified. I thought I'd damaged my back bad.
Yeah.
It got me to reconsider how I'm doing workouts.
Yeah, no, that's scary.
Yeah, it was not fun. Anyways, I went to her to fix that.
Yeah.
So still sore. Happened a couple weeks ago
Mm-hmm.
or a week ago, something like that.
I'm never gonna have that problem. When you tell me these stories about this faraway magical land called the
Gaim.
gym. Yeah, that's right. I love hearing them.
The guy.
Yeah.
So we went to Casa Loma yesterday.
Yeah,
Again.
yeah, we did. So this time of year, obviously, like you get a lot of Halloween haunts popping up, and Casa Loma being like, I'd say that's the premier one in Toronto, like the biggest, the one that's advertised, the heaviest.
Oh, there's Screamers. There's a few others.
Oh, that's
but,
true. Yeah. Sorry. So
but
yeah,
this one
so we got
seems
like
more
the
like
X.
production. Sorry, I didn't mean
but
to
also
scream
it's
into the mic.
in the city. Like when I mean in
Yeah.
the city, I mean like I don't consider the X in Wonderland like in Toronto. Like the Wonderland is certainly not in Toronto.
No, not Wonderland
Yeah.
for sure. But like the X for sure.
But the X, yeah, I guess that's in Toronto. But that just seems like harder to get to. Whereas Casa Loma is like I feel like is smack dab like right in there. you know?
True.
But no, my geography is horrible, so nobody listen to me. There are other haunts in Toronto,
Yeah.
but Casa Loma is one of the bigger ones. And we've gone. I think we've gone for 3 years. This is the third
3,
year
yeah.
that we've gone, and it's still fun, man. I really like it. The weather was perfect. Like I said, it's the end of September right now, and this is my favorite time of the year. The weather is perfect right now. It's nice and cool, and the atmosphere was just right for the night. We went to your place, had a few drinks first. My brother came, a friend of ours, Nader, and his wife came, and we went over there, and I enjoyed it. Although they did an installation, and we're going to talk about details of the Casa Loma Legends of Horror haunt. So if you guys haven't gone and plan to go, don't listen to this part because we're just going to ruin all the surprises. But last year they had an installation coinciding with Michael Myers because Halloween 2018 had just come out.
Yeah.
And they had created a room that looked exactly like the asylum that Michael is trapped in with the at the beginning of the movie with the orange and white checkers,
Right.
and the chain thing, and that was amazing. It was so well done. They had the score playing, a guy dressed as Michael Myers there. He chased me. It was amazing. It was so well done. And this year the ad included a It Chapter 2 installation with Pennywise.
Yeah.
So I thought, like what they did for Michael Myers last year was so well constructed and well thought out. I thought they were going to put the same amount of unique design, custom design for Pennywise. And they did do a little bit. They did one room.
Okay.
And it was okay. But the area where Michael Myers was last year is the area they kind of had the clown.
Not kind of, exactly.
Sorry, yes. That's where they had the clown. But they didn't change the room. The room looks exactly like it does from Halloween 2018. It's the same as last year. They just didn't. I was kind of disappointed.
I was very disappointed by the whole experience. The best part, obviously, is the bar. We'll get to that.
Yeah.
But no, to me, it's always fun to go through, right? The performers there are dope.
Yeah.
They're the ones that make it and break it. If they're not good, it's going to be a total shit show.
That's right.
But for me, the thing that really brought it down was there wasn't as much creativity as I've seen on display over the last 2 years. The first year was really cool because we'd never really seen anything like that.
Yeah.
The year after, they had changed up a few things. There was more content in there, I felt.
Yeah. You mean last year as compared to the first year?
Yeah, I felt like they'd changed up a few things for sure.
Was the Hall of Mirrors there the first year? I don't think it was.
I don't think so.
Yeah,
I think they
that
had
was
something
new.
different in that area.
Yeah, that was new.
Yeah. And they also did the same kind of mirror gags that they did with the Pennywise thing here with Michael Myers.
Oh, yeah,
last year,
yeah.
right?
The only thing that they did differently here was that the people that were scaring you in the Hall of Mirrors thing were dressed as clowns.
Right, exactly. I don't remember. They weren't Michael Myers last year. They were something else.
They were just, whatever.
Yeah.
Whatever they were, like creatures or whatever.
Yeah, it was good.
So
yeah, that's the thing that kind of bummed me out is that it just seemed more of the same. It seemed like the exact same thing from last time, except they slapped up a bunch of Pennywise masks in some of the different rooms. Which I was like, this is is this the best you can do?
Yeah.
And then the guy that was in the Michael Myers room looked like shit.
Yeah, he didn't look good. I was expecting. Oh man,
I had very high expectations.
I was even on Friday. I was passing by my neighbor's place, and we just sat on his deck and just shot the shit for a little while and we drank and I met his kids, and his kids are into horror movies. They do a haunt there on the corner house every year. They're not doing it this year because it's a lot of work, right?
Yeah.
But they do it. They love horror movies. The kids love horror movies.
How old are the kids?
I'm gonna say like 7 and like 4 or 3. Yeah, 4. Yeah, because the younger one, Savannah, she doesn't watch all the horror movies. The older brother does.
Yeah.
Watches most of them. He brought out all of his like his figures, and they're like Pacific Rim figures and like some Batman stuff, but also Pennywise and Freddy and like he has all the Stephen King books like in his room and stuff. Anyway, the reason I'm bringing this up is because I told them that I was going to Casa Loma. She's like, oh, I have to buy my tickets. So she went and bought like she went to get the tickets. And I was saying, hey, you like Pennywise a lot because their son had seen It. I'm like, he's going to be there. And I kind of like hyped it up because I showed them the website. And I'm like, look, this installation is going to be here. Last year was how Michael Myers. They did such a great job. I'm expecting so much this year. I expected a full, like the getup. Like
Absolutely.
That's the minimum amount that you can do. Have a hero costume. You know what I mean? Like one that they work on, they spend some money on. I want the face paint looking exactly like, and it's face paint with the hair, the makeup. I thought they would at least do that. Have one hero performer because they have that other the vampire.
Yeah,
he's been there all 3 years, and he gets everybody
absolutely
all the time, and he's great.
Yeah.
I'm sure it's multiple people playing him, but that character they've created is actually really, really cool, and it's great makeup.
Yeah,
right.
Agreed.
It's not just a mask, right? It's like a mask with makeup around the eyes to blend it all in. And
I just don't get close to him.
Oh yeah, he's creepy. He doesn't say.
I'm like, I don't know about this guy.
No sound. Not like doesn't make a single noise.
No, yeah.
And he kind of creeps up behind you, and then you turn around. Suddenly he's standing there. And
he's very good at it.
He's very good at it. But now that I've hyped it up, and now I was disappointed, and I'm afraid they're gonna be disappointed in the fact that Pennywise is not showing up. Because, like I said, hero costume, that's a no-brainer, man.
Agreed. When I walked in, my very first words were, as soon as I walked in and I saw it was the exact same room, and I saw the clown garb, I was just like, fuck, and I just walked out. I was like, nah, whatever.
Yeah.
I didn't even pay attention.
Got my brother though. Because my brother hadn't been there. So for anyone who hadn't been there, going through that, like just before you get to the Michael Myers asylum room, you kind of have to go through this, what seems like a birth canal, basically, with these cushions pushing in on both sides. And right when you come out of that, you step into this room, and this clown was in my brother's face.
Right.
And he screamed.
Yeah.
So that was good. That was fun. But it was just a mask. Like the clown mask, that was it, and there was no make. I was hoping, I'm like, okay, maybe it's the same room, that's fine, but they're gonna have the hero Pennywise in there. It's not in there. They threw a bunch of masks around. They were hinting the whole thing. And I like that. I like the idea that they were hinting at Pennywise's presence through all of the rooms.
Yes.
That you go through, and they had the big clown shoes on the walls.
Yeah.
Like as if he'd walked on the walls and stuff like that in there.
Right.
I thought that was kind of cool, but.
Sure.
They built up to nothing.
It really did, yeah. The crescendo was just not what it needed to be.
Having said that, there was one entirely additional thing where you go up the stairs, the spiral stairs.
That was new.
Yeah, that was completely new.
Was cool.
We went up there, and there's 2 rooms up there. One of the rooms is an dedicated room with a bunch of chairs that are like stacked up, and with some of the audio from the movie with the kids.
Georgie.
Yeah, Georgie saying, you'll float. Yeah.
Hear the popcorn? Do you hear the popcorn, Georgie? It goes pop, 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 pop.
Yeah. We watched that scene just before we went in there. My brother hadn't seen it. I'm like, you got to see this scene before you go in, because but that room was well set up.
Very well.
But no actors or anything in there.
Yeah.
And then they stuck all the vampire babes in that other room, because I was hoping for the big the vintage car with the vampire babes.
Yeah.
Both last year and the year before, they had them right at the beginning.
Right.
This time they had a contortionist,
yes,
which was creepy and weird.
Contortionists scare me on their own,
and oddly like a little erotic.
Wow.
Yeah.
She was very pretty.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And bendy.
Yeah.
It was like painful to watch.
Yeah, she basically folded over backwards.
Yeah.
And was still standing.
And then she like unpretzeled herself like, you know.
Pretzel's the best way to describe it.
Yeah, yeah.
She has no back problems.
Yeah, she's. Man, you
doesn't
did
need
that,
an
you would
osteopath.
you would just die. I bet you were watching her do that, and your back started hurting.
Dude, if I try and touch my toes, it's a problem. I just, oh dear.
But yeah, there was one gag that I think we all really liked, which was brand new. It was the guy on the bungee cord.
Fuck that guy.
Oh man,
There was only two, maybe three major scares that got me throughout the whole night. That bungee guy was awesome because I don't know if we want to talk about it in detail.
No,
but
talk about it. I mean,
there's this guy. So there's this woman that looks like she's setting up for a bungee thing. We're like, oh, cool. What's she doing? And then all of a sudden, this guy rappels from somewhere else. We're like, oh, fuck.
he like lands in front of us.
Yeah, I
and, like,
did
gets
not
pulled
see
back.
him. So she played a good role of interference there because like I had no idea that was happening.
Yeah,
I knew she was setting up for something, but I thought she'd be like dangling or whatever. I didn't know they'd fucking jump at us.
yeah. He jumps out. And he gets pulled back. He gets pulled
So
back in
good.
the other direction.
Human yo-yo.
Yeah, but what's great about Casa Loma is that a lot of it's outside, then it's
Yeah.
inside, then it's outside again. It's elaborate. They put a lot of thought into it, except I guess for the Pennywise stuff. That's where they're dabbling in the cheapo sort of thing, and I don't want to see them continue to go in that direction because the thing that really impressed me about the Casa Loma Legends of Horror experience was that it was so well thought out. So a lot of the sets, the creativity, the atmosphere is so well thought out, and just having someone run around in a clown mask and saying that you have an Chapter 2 installation. That's not
enough. That's not enough. What they did with Michael Myers last year was legit. This time they just didn't even really give it much of a paint job. They just put a new guy in there with a different costume.
Yeah, it's
maybe you know what? It is still early in this season of Casa Loma. Maybe they are continually improving
making
things.
changes. Yeah, sure.
Maybe.
Sure.
Slap up the same old stuff and start adding things throughout the season.
Yeah,
maybe.
yeah.
Maybe that's how they do it. It's probably easier for them to like plan and tweak things.
Maybe
once
they
it's
have
all
a
set
feedback form at the end.
Yeah. So what did you think of our clowns?
Yeah.
Well, they weren't funny nor scary. So I got nothing.
So yeah, in general, like enjoyable. So, but like the best thing about the experience, I guess, arguably, would be the fact that the midway point has a bar and it's sponsored by Captain Morgan's rum, spiced rum. So is that a wasp there?
Yeah, it's fine.
Yeah, Captain Morgan's sponsored event space in the middle there. It's like basically like the cafeteria that they dress up, and
that's the art. That's not arguably the best part. That is the best part.
yeah, we definitely. So before there was a lot of people there now, and I was thinking to myself, I'm like, I don't remember there being this crowded. But then I realized we were there on a Saturday, and both years prior we went on a weekday.
I remember it being busier, to be honest.
Really? No,
Yeah.
I thought that we had enough space between groups the last time that we had gone.
Oh, you mean during the haunt? I thought you were talking about the midway point.
No, not the bar. Yeah, the bar was it's great because there's a lot of turnover there, and it's just
true.
like it feels crowded, but people are constantly coming in and leaving.
Yeah.
But really, that's the best place for that bar. Because I was telling my brother, because everyone, as soon as you get scared, you get those like chemicals release or whatever you call it, like
Endorphins.
Yeah, is it endorphins?
I have no idea.
Yeah, I don't know what it is, but anyway, when you get scared, all you want to do is you get to the bar, you just want to have a drink and talk about it. Talk about it with your friends that you've gone with, and. Boy, did we ever talk about it. We got in there and we had a couple of rounds.
We were drunk when we got there.
I
was not sober getting to it. And then there we just refueled.
Yeah, and so that was a lot of fun.
It was
awesome.
awesome.
And the bar's all dressed up and like it's done up and it's just really fun to be.
I like the energy and the vibe of the place as well.
Yeah.
Like everybody there is just, like you said, kind of decompressing from the experience that they had, and it just seems like the kind of like happy vibes. Like everybody's there for the right reasons.
Yeah.
You know? I dig that a lot. It's not like we were mingling a lot with people, but like it's just good to look around and see everybody else
smiling,
having good experiences.
Yeah, it's like like a lot of smiling faces, and I think that's one of the strongest attractors of horror.
Absolutely,
that's exactly what it does. Like when you watch a horror movie with a bunch of people as a group, you talk about it, you laugh about it after because it's all fake in the end, right? You had a scare, but like you guys want to talk about it, right? It brings people together, and that's the exact right execution to capitalize on that feeling. You shared fear-filled experience right to the bar, and we spend money.
Oh yeah.
Right, so it's the right business strategy, but also like just a lot of fun to do. So we did that, and then we ran off to another bar after and proceeded to get completely loaded.
There was A&W involved later too.
There was. Oh, was there ever?
Yeah.
But a good night, all in all.
All
good
in all,
night.
absolutely.
Good start to the fall season. I think I'm hoping to do a couple more of those in and around the city. They have one at Black Creek Pioneer Village.
Yeah.
And a couple of other places. So
We could sneak a few more in. I'd be in for that.
yeah. So that's Casa Loma. What else you got?
Well,
Well,
I wanted to talk a little bit about this Infinite Crisis stuff because since the last time we talked, it was what it was. There was Brendan Routh. We knew that.
this is the CW.
CW Crisis on Instant
Earths.
Instant.
Yeah.
Infinite Earths. And they had just cast Tom Welling and Erica Durance from
Yeah,
Smallville.
that's
and
right.
I subsequently blew my mind.
Yeah.
Like, everything I want so far has come to pass.
Yeah.
The only thing that it seems like's not is to get Rosenbaum back for Lex Luthor from there.
yeah.
Because he was great. I think he's my favorite cinematic or small screen, I don't know how you want to put it, but like he's my favorite interpretation of live action Lex Luthor I think I've ever seen. That being said, I haven't seen John Cryer, I think his name is.
John
Cryer. I could be wrong.
who
Two and a
plays-
Half Men. Two and a half men. He played Lex Luthor in Supergirl.
Oh yeah, no, I haven't been watching.
I haven't
Supergirl,
watched
so
it.
I have no
yeah,
idea.
I'm behind. It's a pretty good show. I mean, it's light,
Yeah.
easy to absorb. But yeah, and then they also just released the still of Brandon Routh as the Kingdom Come version.
The Kingdom Come Superman,
Oh,
Brendan Routh. I was like, whew. They went for it too. The gray sideburns,
everything.
the black background of the S shield.
Yeah,
The the Alex Ross S shield, the darker sort of color scheme.
Yeah.
Of the suit. Man, I was just because it was rumored. It was never.
I
I
don't
don't think it was ever like
confirmed.
confirmed 100%. He's playing the Kingdom Come Superman.
Right.
But now, you see him and you're like, yeah, this is definitely the Kingdom Come Superman. So I was really impressed. What did you think of that costume?
It kind of has, in terms of the size of the muscle suit, kind of has like Shazam vibes a little,
Yeah, it's a little bulky,
but not. I don't feel like it's as overtly
bubbly.
as the Shazam one.
Yeah.
Maybe Routh carries it better. I don't know. It's cool to see him in the Superman suit. I really didn't like Superman Returns through no fault of his. Sorry, I don't want to burp in the mic. You've watched a little of Legends of Tomorrow? No, maybe?
No. Like, he's the Atom.
He's
right?
the Atom. Yeah, he's very likable in that.
Who's he? Ray
Palmer.
Ray Palmer.
Yeah, it's a good little show, and he
Yeah.
does a good job in it. So it'll be interesting to see, like, his character interact with his character.
Yeah.
So
So he's still
still
on that
the Atom.
show.
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
interesting.
So
they're
that's the
gonna
thing
have-
is they're going to have those two characters. At least that's my guess is they'll have those
That's
two
funny.
characters interact. I'm just curious. So like with like Tom Welling coming aboard, what's he going to do? Is it going to be some cameo where he's like in Smallville, just like waving at the camera, like
Yeah.
something like that, or is he going to have a role? Are we going to see him in the tights?
Yeah,
that would
I mean,
be dope.
because he never wore any.
Never wore any. All you
Right.
saw was a CG double for the most part, and like,
He had the black suit for a little while, didn't he?
well, it was just basically Neo's.
The
thing
trench
from the Matrix
coat.
with
Oh,
like
yeah,
a
yeah.
drawn-on Superman symbol. It was kind of like it looked cool. It was a very cool silhouette. But then later in like the 10th season, he had like not a bomber jacket, but like a leather red jacket, and they just called him the Red and Blue Blur because he was always wearing red and blue. It was lame. I didn't like that, and I figured after 10 seasons, the big payoff is we're going to see Welling in the suit. They didn't give us that. The only thing that we got was like they played the John Williams theme at the very end, and he runs towards the camera and opens up his shirt, and you see the
this-
Superman Returns type suit actually.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and he's wearing that, but it's just like his chest.
Was that show on when Superman Returns was coming out?
Yeah.
Still?
Yeah,
Okay.
Yeah.
A little cross promotion there. That reminds me of another cross promotion actually they did for Wonder Woman. Did you ever see that there's that little promo, I don't know what it was, but it was Supergirl walking into a bar and the song "These Boots Were Made for Walking" is playing.
Right. Yeah.
And she's looking at all the other women from the CW universe.
Yeah.
I think it's her that's walking in the bar because then it pans back to her and she's putting on new boots.
Yeah.
And they're Wonder Woman's boots from the movie. And
I'd have to see.
yeah, they're Wonder Woman's boots from the movie, and someone's like, "Where'd you get those?" She's like, "Oh, a friend let me borrow them."
Yeah.
Or whatever.
I thought
And
Linda Carter was also in that commercial.
Oh, maybe
too.
sorry. That's who it was. Linda Carter might be the one walking through the bar, and she spots Supergirl putting on new boots. Something like that.
Something
You gotta
like
watch.
that.
But it was a cool like movie show
Yeah.
kind of like tie-in.
Yeah, they need more tie-ins like that. I like seeing this this cross-pollination of universes in
Yeah.
these shows and movies. Like, how dope would it be if all of a sudden Ezra Miller's just makes a cameo in The Flash?
That would be crazy if
That'd
he
be
just
amazing.
appears in Crisis on Infinite Earths.
So good.
Yeah. So no, that is exciting. I just like I keep saying every other show, I haven't watched any of it yet.
We'll get
But-
you on it, man.
But Brendan Routh, Kingdom Come Superman, that's huge.
It's
That's
huge
huge.
and it looks good.
Looks good.
I-
Yeah,
I'm excited.
Yeah, I'm happy with that.
And through all this, I keep forgetting. Like, they keep putting out this news, and I keep forgetting that I'm going to get to see Kevin Conroy as old Bruce Wayne.
Oh yeah, dude,
That-
they've
every
got
time I realize
got a
that's still
lot
coming,
going for them there, right?
It's so good, so good.
they've got a lot going on.
Yeah,
A
man.
lot of fan service.
big time. CW that looks like they try to appreciate their fans as much
Yeah,
as possible. So
that's
I
true.
like it. Yeah. What else you got?
I got something here. A little thing here. So, the pilot for the Dark Tower is an Amazon series. Not going to be related to the film with Idris Elba and Matthew McConaughey, but it's based on the third book or the fourth book of the series, which is called Wizard and Glass.
Right.
And so that's the one where basically the whole book is a flashback
Right.
to when Roland the gunslinger becomes a gunslinger in that first story. So it's a great place to start. That's where the Marvel series starts
Right.
as well. So my first exposure to the Dark Tower universe was through the Marvel hardcover,
Yeah.
and that starts at the same spot. Cool. Things look good.
Sure.
They just released who directed the pilot, and his name is Stephen Hopkins. Now, you may be wondering why am I mentioning this and who the hell is Stephen Hopkins? Among other things, he has directed Blown Away, Lost in Space, 1998.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh no! Wait, never mind. I
but
was
that's-
thinking of the Tim Allen movie.
No.
is
This
not
one
the
is
same.
not. Yeah, this one is not a good. It's not a good movie. But he's done two other really, really wonderful movies.
Keep that mic in front of you, sir.
He's done two other really wonderful movies. One of them being one of my favorite movies is The Ghost in the Darkness. He directed that. And the other one, which is arguably the best sequel ever made, Predator 2. This man is the director of Predator 2, directed the pilot for the Dark Tower. I actually think he's a really good director. I think that, he was caught in a period where there was like a transition between like practical and digital effects and things like that. And I think he was one of the last making big genre movies. Like Ghost in the Darkness is a massive movie shot on location in Africa. And Predator 2 is a sequel to one of the most popular science fiction action movies ever made. So yeah, no, I just think it's really interesting that he's directing this because he hasn't directed anything after that.
Yeah, it's a strange one. Wait, he hasn't had another director's credit since Ghost in the Darkness?
Maybe he's done TV. Maybe
Oh,
he's
possibly,
done television, but I don't recall anything that he's directed explicitly, like film.
Yeah. No, I don't recognize the name. I never knew who directed Predator 2. I don't think I ever needed that answer. But we got Predator 2.
Yeah,
Busey.
that's right.
And what's his name? Danny Glover. Not to
No,
be
he's
confused.
directed some movies.
Porno?
None of which really ring a whole lot of bells.
Mm.
The Reaping, Blown Away, 1994, Lost in Space. Oh, Nightmare on Elm Street 5. the Dream Child. Sorry,
Oh, I thought it
directed
was
that.
the Warrior one.
the Warrior one I thought was pretty good.
It's been ages since I've seen that
Yeah,
one.
me too.
Is that
I'm
the
gonna
one with
rewatch
TV?
It. Welcome to prime time, bitch.
Yeah,
that
that's
one.
the one.
It might be. I remember it more with the kid who like becomes a wizard in his own dreams and starts fighting back. Like all the
Oh,
kids
yeah,
start
yeah,
fighting
yeah.
back. Oh, it's fun. Anyway, just a weird thing I wanted to mention because I love the Ghost in the Darkness so much. The name immediately rang a bell with me, and I'm like, that's pretty cool. I think this is going to be a cool little series if it gets season order.
What's so good about the Ghost in the Darkness? I don't think I ever saw. That's Val Kilmer, right?
Yeah, Val Kilmer and Michael Douglas.
Oh yeah.
Um,
And a lion
Yeah,
or a tiger or
from lions and shit. Yeah,
lions and shit.
Yeah, two lions based on a true story. That in Savo, Africa, but basically like this period in time, everyone's trying to build the railway through Africa to connect the ivory trade.
Yeah,
So
as one needs to.
Yeah. So the British are one of the competitors trying to get that railroad finished and connect them and get rich, basically.
Okay.
So they run into a river, a gorge, and the River Savo in Africa, and they need to build a bridge. So they get Colonel Patterson, who is these are all real. This is all real history. Colonel Patterson's a real person. He was also an engineer, so they hire him to build the bridge. As soon as he gets there, the entire camp is like plagued by these two lions that keep attacking and killing people and workers there. And every attempt that they made to catch and kill the lions essentially like outsmarted them.
Nice.
There are some insane facts from this because Patterson wrote about it in, I think it was the Bowana Beast or the Beast of. Oh, now I've forgotten the name of the book that he wrote. He wrote a book
Yeah.
about his experiences, and one big part of the book is about these two lions that the locals called the Ghost in the Darkness. Really interesting point of history. They were killed. They were preserved, and they're actually at the Chicago Field Museum. They're there, and you can see them, and they're large, and they're maneless lions. So it's all like the stuff surrounding them is a little strange. And Patterson himself, when writing the story, probably embellished a little bit, but still a remarkable, man versus nature kind of story, and which I
Nice.
really love. It's a great adventure movie. I was actually going to do another. Well, yeah, I wanted to do a little video on this movie and other movies that I feel like people have kind of missed or haven't seen that I find interesting. But this is one of those ones I keep coming back to. I think it's like one of the last great adventure movies.
Right.
Shot on location, feels so real and grimy and like it looks amazing too since it's shot on location. It just looks fantastic. Anyway, that's the Ghost in the Darkness. But I hope he brings some of that to the Dark Tower, because the Dark Tower has a similar dry sort of deserty, sandy sort of like feel.
Yeah.
Right. So
It's unclean.
yeah, but it's also remarkable. Like it's beautiful.
Yeah.
Right. And he managed to capture both of those things in the Ghost in the Darkness, the beauty and like the terror. Right. So both in a adventure movie that was really, really fun and really engaging. So I hope he brings that to to the Dark Tower.
True.
So yeah, that was the one thing I had. Do you have something?
You said you saw the trailer in The Irishman?
Yeah, I
Or,
saw
sorry,
the
of The Irishman? The
Yeah.
fuck, man.
Yeah, they're really this whole we live in this age of like digital de-aging and like deep fakes and stuff like that. Now it's really getting up there.
I don't like it. I don't like where they're going with this. It scares me.
Is it just De Niro that's digitally de-aged
It
in
looked
that?
like Pesci. It looked like...
I don't think. I bet she looks fucking
He looks
older
old,
than time. in
well, he looks...
that. He looks like a sandbag that's been left out in the sun.
He does, but I don't know. I thought Pesci looked de-aged, and I thought Pacino looked de-aged. But then again, I don't think I've seen Pacino in the wilderness in a while.
In the wilderness.
Yeah, just out
like-
there.
Just out
with
there,
the,
like having a little drink of water
the
by the
Pacino
creek.
in the darkness.
Yeah, bitch.
Is that Pacino? I don't know. I can't see. It's too dark.
Now I really wanted to replace like every lion attack scene in The Ghost of the Darkness, but just put Pacino's face on the lion and his various angry faces because he yells a lot in his
All
movies,
the time.
right? So he's always got his mouth open.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, of course.
yeah.
Yeah.
And every time they growl, it would be hoo-ah!
Yeah. But like it's okay, so here's my rant. Like when they did it for Nick Fury, which was very convincing, made sense.
Yeah,
because he was aside from his running, yes,
his running and his like.
I understand. And like when they
Oh,
did it, they
man.
did it back in the day with what was it? In X-Men 3, I think it was, The Last Stand. They did it for
Patrick Stewart.
Patrick Stewart
Oh
and
my God, I
Ian
remember
McKellen.
that
It
being-
didn't look great then, but
Nope.
it was I mean
did
it
not,
was
sir.
it was for its time it looked pretty cool. It looked wrong, but it looked like you kind of respect what they're doing. And it's gotten better. But at this point it's just to me like it looks like it's going to be de-aged De Niro for the whole film. And
Well, no, there are shots in that where he's like, there's different points of his life, right?
is it?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Okay.
He's
he
not.
did you see him? Okay, so I just saw the roast of who was it? Alec Baldwin, and he's just there. He was one of the roasters. I didn't actually see his thing. I saw Nikki Glazer do her thing. She
Okay.
fucking was amazing. But he's just sitting there. He looks like a tiny little old man.
Who?
De Niro.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
He looks
he's old.
frail, bro.
Yeah.
And in this one, he didn't look frail. He didn't look that frail in any of the shots, which leads me to believe that it's a lot of like it's like Sam Jackson level of de-aging in this film.
If you watch the trailer again, there's definitely shots of him in there, looking as he does now, for sure.
I'd have to rewatch.
So like
it
the
then.
white hair. I'm pretty sure in the scene he's probably at a funeral.
Yeah.
But no, it's definitely there. But it looks like a lot of the movie will be taking place in flashbacks.
Yeah.
Or whatever. So
That
I
bugs
mean, I
me,
wouldn't say that his older age is the dominant age in that movie. It would be him younger, I think.
Well, I mean, okay, so my point still stands in that, like, I don't like where Hollywood's going with this because I feel like they're going to be in a level now where they're like, all right, let's just keep using the same actors for 30 straight years
Yeah.
because we can just keep making them look timeless and beautiful for the
Yep.
rest of the time. Like, to me, that's just wrong. Like, get new actors, get new talent.
yeah.
I mean, fuck, you've got Hollywood actresses, or I guess, female actors. I don't know.
yeah.
I
Sure.
feel
sure.
like it's taboo to call them actresses now, but
It's not.
it's
I don't
not.
think it is.
Okay, yeah, I
just-
guess they still say
now you're just
actress
making
in a
shit
thing.
up.
No, dude, I see them referred to with female actresses. Obviously, that's the only kind I guess, but as actors, and I feel like there's a stigma around saying actress now, but I could be wrong. In any case,
Say it, man. Say it.
I'll just say it loud
Be
and
real.
proud. I don't mean
Be you.
I don't mean anything derogatory by
Yeah.
it,
Be you.
but I do not like where this is going because
Yep.
it just to me it just seems. Hollywood's already trying to reuse the same shit over and over again
Yeah.
as much as they can. Now they're going to keep reusing the same actors because they're like, well, this person doesn't fit the age. Fuck it. Take 30 years off. All right,
Yeah.
cool.
You know, they did. I feel like another example they did that, which I haven't seen the movie, but I remember seeing a scene from it was Tron Legacy. Did they de-age him?
Yeah.
But I feel like that's because it all takes place in a video game. I almost feel like
See, that's the problem is if the de-aging in that wasn't very good either. There was some decent stuff. No, not even. It was all pretty bad.
Yeah.
But while he's in there, so there's a de-aged version of him that's like, have you seen the movie?
no.
What I say is probably not much of a spoiler, but if you want me to not
should.
say it,
Don't say it because
Okay.
I actually now that I've just reminded myself that I need to see it.
okay, I'll leave
so
it
I'll
alone.
probably
Go see
watch
it because, dude, that's actually I love that
It
film.
looks a great. It
It's
looks like
really,
it
really
looks
cool.
like a fun movie.
Yeah.
and it's directed by the name is slipped my mind, but the guy the next movie he did was Oblivion.
Oh yeah,
So I mean, like the design wise, like that,
Visuals.
I love Oblivion. I think that's a wonderful, it's amazing,
amazing.
looking movie. It's a competent storytelling, but also driven by like massive visuals and so like Tron Legacy looks like a designer's delight.
it's amazing.
Yeah,
And the score's great. Daft Punk fucking crushes it.
yeah.
And it's just incredible. I
Cool.
really,
Yeah.
really like it. It's a fun ride the whole way.
Yeah,
through,
I'll
but,
backtrack to that one for sure.
But yeah, so that's kind of my feelings when I saw it's Scorsese. I'm gonna see the film eventually.
Yeah.
Especially it's coming out on Netflix.
This is
right?
Netflix, yeah.
So yeah, I'll see it. It's gonna be super convenient. No problem.
Yeah.
but I don't like the precedent. If there's a reason to use de-aging because you've got, it's a flashback movie from a certain character,
Yeah.
no problem. I can get behind that. Nick Fury being de-aged in Captain Marvel, do it. You want to de-age Patrick Stewart because you need him to play a younger one, the younger version of himself, no problem.
Yeah.
But when you're starting off a movie and it's de-aged, it seems like that as much as they are. It's like let's be careful how we're using this technology.
I'm not a huge fan of it. We just saw It Chapter 2, and we have a review forthcoming, but they did digital de-aging in It Chapter 2 as well, and it was a little distracting when I was watching it because the kids had grown up so much between both movies that they had to slightly de-age them as well.
I didn't even notice, to be honest.
And they needed to get, and I noticed this right away, they needed to change their voices as well. So their voices sounded really weird. I heard it almost immediately. It was kind of distracting. So,
I didn't even see it.
Yeah.
Wow.
So for something like that, you can't plan for someone getting older. Like that one, I see more of a reason to do that.
Absolutely.
Because you've
got
got
these
Chapter
established
2
actors and characters already. No problem.
and I think the results are a bit mixed on that one in terms of execution, but I see why. But with a movie like the Irishman, you're right. I don't think it's a must.
No.
It's an idea. I don't know if it's the one that would this movie succeed not succeed if they didn't do that. I would be inclined to say no. I think it could definitely succeed without that sort of hokey technology that they're using.
I think it's just Scorsese not wanting to play with anybody else. He's like, I got my guys.
Yeah. Well, he also knows that other people want him to play with those guys. Came out wrong, but other people want to see that group of actors and filmmaker together.
Yeah, of course.
Badly.
Yeah.
Badly. So they're like, hey,
Netflix
if they
just
want
wrote
to
him
see
a blank check. Figure something out with these guys.
Yeah, yeah, and not to say that he doesn't want to do that, but he definitely wants to do it. He's like,
Sure.
all right, so
Makes sense. I mean, fuck, they pay Adam Sandler hundreds of maybe not hundreds, but tons of money to go and party with his friends.
oh yeah.
But
Yeah.
did you see the trailer for Uncut Jewels?
No, not yet. I've just seen a poster. I haven't seen it. Yeah.
Dude, Sandler is incredible.
Yeah, he's a good actor.
He's a good actor. He's a good content creator because despite his movies his comedies not being very good,
He knows what people want.
that's the thing.
He knows what they want because people are still watching them. Like this last movie, Murder Mystery, which is him and Jennifer Aniston are such good friends.
Yeah,
Again, they just went partied in Europe and shot this movie.
that's it.
And I didn't think it was very good at all.
I didn't watch it. I don't know that I will. But
yeah, I didn't think it was very good. But Shagu liked it, just as fluffy sort of fun that you kind of just forget about after it's all done. One random connection there. The guy who plays Black Panther's father. T'Chaka. I really love that guy because he is one of the main characters in The Ghost in the Darkness. And I'd never seen him in another movie before. And then when I was watching Civil War, I saw him. I'm like, oh my God, this guy just brings a smile to my face because he's so good in The Ghost in the Darkness, and he's really funny. He's one of the characters that I've stuck with me my entire life. And he's so warm, but he's in Murder Mystery. So I was like, oh well, there's that, and that's fun, and I can latch onto that to get through the rest of this movie. But it's just not very good, the Murder Mystery. And you're right, it's just he knows what people want, and he delivers, and he's still making tons of money making these subpar films.
Yeah,
in my opinion,
it is.
But he's also a really capable actor.
Extremely.
Yeah.
Extremely. Punch Drunk Love, this Uncut Jewels film that's coming out. I really wanted to see funny people.
I haven't seen that.
Yeah.
I heard that looked good.
Yeah.
That looked good.
I'd give it a shot. So,
yeah.
he got assaulted by, not assaulted, but verbally chastised by some crazy homeless dude in
Toronto.
Yeah.
That's really unfortunate. What was he getting yelled at for? I
don't
saw
know.
the article. I just can't remember what it was.
Just getting yelled at.
Yeah.
As one does in Toronto. Sometimes you just get yelled at by the homeless.
Yeah.
It happens.
Yeah.
Some ask for change. Some ask for your time while they can yell at you.
That's right.
What?
I think a wasp just flew into the fire pit.
Good.
There.
Good riddance. Dum-dum.
Moving on. Ooh, I can hear it sizzling. It's the sizzle. A a trailer came out for a video game called Terminator Resistance.
I saw that.
You saw that?
Yeah.
And it's based on the upcoming Terminator film.
Yeah, it looked like a badly skinned fucking first-person shooter. I wasn't
Yes.
impressed at all.
I watched this trailer and I was like,
Ugh.
this just looks like a mod on like Call of Duty.
Yeah, absolutely.
And didn't look
Good at
Good.
all. I was like, guys, can we please just get the Terminator franchise back on track?
it looks like we're past that era where tie-in video games were made for movies. Like they don't happen that often now. They used to a lot.
Yeah,
and
but
they used
the games
to
were
be
usually
awful.
Yeah, I was gonna say
Games were
usually
awful
shit.
because you can smell the smoke now too, eh?
Good,
Oh man.
terrorizing
Hang on,
us.
I just gotta make sure that this is still safe
What do you mean safe?
because it's smoking.
I don't think that if it was a wasp that flew in there, I don't think that's gonna ruin anything
No.
unless he's filled with methane.
I do have all of my books quite close, so I'll just move those.
Well, that's just a
instead.
poor decision to start.
Yeah. So this Terminator game saw the trailer, and this era of video games, we're so far past that. Nobody does that anymore because
Right.
people are on to their bullshit. To these companies making these tie-in games, we're on to
Yeah.
your bullshit.
Yep.
You are just making this game because this movie's popular. You get the cross
Yeah.
promotion. People buy the game, find out it's shit, but you made your money back. We get it.
Yeah.
We're not buying your nonsense anymore. Now this game comes out based on the movie,
Yeah.
and it looks like exactly the same. Exactly the same low effort game that they're putting out. It's like I feel like I'm back in the late 90s, like it's really, really, it just doesn't look good. I could be totally wrong about
Has there
this.
been any reviews? No, it's still early,
No,
right?
no.
When's the release?
November. Sorry, hang on. Coming this way. In November, Teon has developed a video game called Terminator Resistance, set to be released in Europe and Australia on November 15th, with a release in North America following on December 3rd.
I have a suspicion that this game's gonna have a dark fate. But ching.
Yeah.
It's nobody's gonna buy this shit.
Yeah, it just doesn't look very good. And I don't know. I don't really play Call of Duty, and I don't play a lot of first-person shooters. But it just looks uninspired.
Yeah, I'm not impressed. You know what I did play today was I went to my parents in the morning, and my brother got the Dragon Ball Z Fighter. You get like some sweet nostalgia off that because it's very like Marvel
Dragon Ball
vs.
Z?
Capcom. Yeah.
I want to play that because we were talking about that the last time
Yeah.
I dropped by your parents' place and we were playing some video games. What did we played? We played Helldivers.
Yeah.
That was fun.
Yeah,
That gets a
Helldivers is
fun
good.
game, man. That's a good game. If you guys are looking for a good 4-player, same screen, local co-op game, Helldivers is the one, and it's challenging, really
Yeah.
challenging.
Especially the higher difficulties. Lower difficulties you can kind of breeze through. But
Yeah.
After that, the thing that makes it so challenging when you're playing with people, especially, is the friendly fire that is
always on.
always on.
You cannot
can
turn it off.
Kill your friends.
Yeah, you.
And sometimes it's fun. I love doing that. That's one of my favorite things. But
Yep.
yeah, no, Helldivers is dope.
Yeah.
I think the last thing I wanted to pimp out, because I kind of just discovered, it's been around for a while, but I just discovered this like a little while ago. This is on the Dragon Ball Z topic, and I'm wearing a Dragon Ball Z shirt.
Yeah.
But you were never into Dragon Ball Z.
No, I despised that show.
I would like to see you watch one or two of these episodes of a show called Dragon Ball Z Abridged. It's a YouTube show
Yeah.
where they basically take these episodes and they shrink it down into like 10-minute episodes.
Yeah.
But they redub everything and it's way more like it's a comedy basically. It's fucking great. But they get the beats of the show right, which is really interesting.
Oh, I thought
So
you were
get
saying they cut out all the fat.
They do.
Of the
They
show.
cut out all of the fat
But
of the
you're
show.
saying they redub it
and they redub it.
to be funny or to
Yes.
be
Yeah.
okay.
I gotta get. Okay. After
Alright.
this, we'll watch the first episode or two, and just I'm curious to see if I think it's as good as it is being a fan, and I get some of the stuff. But it would be interesting to get your take on it, because honestly, it's a great way to watch it because you get the gist of what's going on in the show.
Yeah.
But you're also howling at sometimes
Cool.
laughter. So with
You know,
laughter.
maybe it needs to be revisited. If you could point me to that, or point me to someone who's re-edited the show to get rid of the fat and not dubbed anything or anything like that, just like a shorter version, because
Yeah.
like there's a lot of nonsense in that show that's just I just couldn't take it as a kid. I was like, when is something going to happen that's not somebody yelling into the camera?
It's so the show's Dragon Ball Z abridged. They've also done the channel's Team 4-Star, and they've also done other stuff. I think they've done the same kind of abridgment of the movies. I think they might have done the Dragon Ball series, like with Kid Goku.
Okay,
when he's a kid.
Yeah, I remember seeing that when I was young.
And they're
too.
working on, I think, the Majin Buu saga right now. They went all the way up until the Cell saga. For anybody who's a Dragon Ball Z fan, that is.
I don't know what the fuck you're talking about.
I know, but you should watch the show because I think you might dig it.
Cool.
It might get
cool.
That might be your gateway into Dragon Ball Z.
Cool. That would be something if I started watching Dragon Ball Z.
Yeah.
Be like, Justin, have you seen this show? It's
It's
amazing.
incredible. Yeah, it's also 1,000 years old. Welcome to the party, pal. So yeah, check it out. Team 4-Star, Dragon Ball Z abridged. If you're a Dragon Ball fan, if you're not a Dragon Ball fan, try it out.
Yeah. I had something else here quick. Are You Afraid of the Dark? Is that a
Nope.
show that you ever watched?
Yes.
Okay.
There was one episode where if you look too deep in the fire, some fire monster comes after you. And that always scared me. That's why I never looked deep into fires.
Yeah. It's a Canadian show, right? I think
think so.
Yeah, I think it was a Canadian show. Something that we grew up watching. They have a revival series out now, and the trailer is out. And it looks pretty good.
I haven't seen the trailer yet. I'm
Yeah.
curious, though.
It looks pretty good. It's balancing that, balancing the creep factor, but with it's for younger viewers.
Yeah.
So it's cool. I know I have a couple of friends that loved watching this show when we were kids, and they're really excited about it. So it's cool that they're going back to do some of those. It is really like the age of nostalgia, right? Like,
Yeah.
I mean, we are suckling this teat until it is dry and old and shriveled.
That is graphic.
Yeah, it's an 80s teat.
Oh.
Yeah.
I
And
guess
then we're going to suckle.
This is an 80s teach right here.
And then we're going to suckle from the 90s teat real soon.
Oh, boy.
That is going to be really depressing because I feel like 90s culture is just...
Can we get off of suckling teats, please? This is taking a turn.
yeah, 90s must be on the way, right? Like
Yeah.
right after the 80s, all of the kids who grew up in the 80s now have like disposable income. We're buying toys, we're buying media, we're buying all this stuff. So all of the stuff that's being created is catered for us now, right?
Yeah.
And
But, like, what
eventually we're
stuff-
going to be, 45,
Yeah.
and then we're going to have the 90s nostalgia come up, and it's going to be like, what is it? What is the 90s to you?
I feel like it's already there. Like, the 90s to me was like the X-Men cartoon, the Batman cartoon, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Skateboarders, maybe.
Rockers.
Nah.
I feel like skateboard culture was big in the 90s.
Yeah, it kind of
Yeah.
was. Grunge, like that
Grunge,
kind
yeah,
of,
like
that
the
kind
grunge
of,
stuff. Like, what else?
Alternative music, that kind of shit.
Shiny comic book covers, hollow foil covers, bagged comic books. You ready for that to come back?
I could do without that. Jesus Christ.
I got a Death of Superman still in plastic wrap. I'm like, congratulations, it's worth $4.
Yeah.
Because they printed a billion of them.
Yeah, exactly.
That was the 90s were a crazy time for comics. All speculator market.
Right.
Everyone was just prospecting.
But anyways, I feel like they've already done all of this remake stuff of the 90s anyway. They're remaking the comic book stuff. Skateboarding is always a thing, but like I don't think it was like ever big from a movie going standpoint. Like they're not going to rehash that. Or what are you talking about?
I'm talking about
Just-
everything, not
just
just comic
everything in
books, like
general?
everything in general. Like
Oh.
the 90s is going to come back, not in terms of explicitly of remakes, but like
Oh.
Stranger Things came out and everyone lost their minds because they're like, that's what my childhood was like.
Yeah.
Right? What is it going to be when we move on from the 80s for nostalgia and we come to the 90s? What is it going to be? What is that culture? What is that culture going to bring in?
Dial up internet.
Yeah, there we go.
That's what it is.
14.4 to 28.8 to 56K modems, buddy.
Exactly.
That's
Just
what I'm
waiting for
talking
that
about.
dial up to connect, and it was really, really hard to masturbate
Well-
with really slow internet. The buffering was crushing souls at that point.
Yeah, dude. Seriously.
I had a friend who would like he'd go to what was it? He'd download like clips. He was he thought he was a brilliant man, and he'd basically he'd compress a bunch of clips together because they had like a porn site that would basically make like 1 minute clips of a scene.
Yeah.
But it would be broken down. So what he did was he basically zipped them all together and made like one file out of all of them. And he's like, I sold it. I was like, what?
Sold a zip file of edited.
I might be lying about that.
That is no. I think that's a real thing. I think that could really have happened.
So yeah, he was curating and making new
That's
new
funny,
art.
man. I think the whole like adult film streaming stuff, or downloading stuff, I never did any of that until like much later, because what I was downloading illegally was mostly like video games, like trying to get PS1 games, trying to get a Dreamcast games,
Right, yeah.
in the 90s. And MP3s.
MP3s.
That was like MP3s were the big thing. I remember when I got Bone Thugs and Harmony. Well, one of my first MP3s was Bone Thugs and Harmony, Tupac, Thug Love, and it's a great song, and I listen to it to this day. But every time I hear it, I'm like, it just brings me back to when I was super young, and I'm like, I got my first MP3, and it's this dope ass song that I'm just playing 1,000 times on my computer because it's like one of 8 MP3s that I have right now.
The Napster days.
Oh, it wasn't even Napster. I got this from like a website.
Oh,
yeah, this was like before file sharing, or peer to peer of any kind.
Yeah.
So this was a big get for me. And then I got Notorious Thugs, which is Bone Thugs and Harmony collaboration with Biggie.
Yeah.
And I was like playing them just back to back. And that's like a lot. I listened to that a lot because they were high bit rates too.
Yeah.
Which is weird, the fact that they're high bit rates, and it was so early in like sort of that digital music culture. But yeah, that's what I remember stealing. And like, I don't remember any adult films because, like you said, I mean, our bandwidth was so tiny. It's like I'm trying to download this 7 meg MP3.
Yeah,
and that's taken me like all night, right, to do. So, yeah. So
simpler times.
I have a question for you. Just a random thought I had. I was talking to somebody about this when we were talking about, retro culture and all of that. They're building all of these like retro Nintendo and like the arcade. Sorry, what are they called? The Nintendo Classic, the Super NES, and the Genesis one just came out. It's getting really good reviews because it's finally they've got the design right and everything's. What I'm thinking is like, yes, that culture exists and people will always have that nostalgia for that time.
Sure.
But do you think that extends to games that are outside of the 16-bit era and under? Does that extend to PS? I was thinking about like, oh man, I really want to play like the first Splinter Cell for like PS1, and you look at it is ugly. These are ugly games because when you jump from the realm of from whatever bit to 16-bit, there's a certain limitation in art style you're playing with. You jump into 3D, all bets are off. They were just happy to get 3D into a game. And so these games are fucking really ugly. Like, I don't see anybody playing this game and enjoying it, but you'll play Dr. Mario or Super Mario Brothers and they have really, have really concrete mechanics.
Right.
So do you think that the nostalgia extends to PS1? I can't possibly see anybody having that craving.
Depends on the game, right? So, like, I'll jump back into PS3 to go and play.
But we're still with it.
I know.
Then, right?
The PlayStation 3 still got some pretty decent quality content, right? But I feel like once you go back, because now like the gameplay style of a 3D third-person game, now versus then is pretty similar in terms of mechanics. What is not similar is obviously how it looks, and the GPU and everything. Like it's not. It doesn't have the capability. So like. It would make more sense to me to port the game and up-res everything and make it look prettier. I don't know what the workload behind something like that is, but I mean that to me would make more sense if you're going to go down that road. Do it that way. Port everything. I'd rather than port everything over for the most up-to-date system and then say, "Hey, we've got Splinter Cell 1, but it looks way better."
Yeah, but
let's play that.
They do those digital HD remakes, but that's not even what I'm talking about because a lot of these retro consoles,
right.
They're just the original games that
Agreed,
people want to play. Donkey Kong, the arcade, Tetris. Like they want to play these games. These are classic games for a reason because people can come back to them. But I think my case in point here is that no one is making games that look. I'm picking on Splinter Cell because I just remember playing it for the PS1 and I remember enjoying it for the time. But I'm like, now I'm sure it's just really fugly, right? Graphics are always getting better, but people to this day are still making pixel art 2D side-scrolling games, a lot of which we play,
Yeah.
right? That means that style, that look and feel is never going away, right? But the look and feel of a PS1 game has gone away. Nobody's going back to that style,
I
right?
guess,
There's
I
no
guess.
style there that people are porting.
Well,
It's
what about-
always
what
getting
about like
better.
a Virtua Fighter or I can't remember any of the other fighting games, but like the fighting games.
Virtua
like,
Fighter, but like Tekken, Virtua
yeah,
Fighter.
Tekken, that was
yeah.
the other one I was thinking of.
Yeah,
like those I could see people going back to and being like, let's play this. Like we would go back and play Street Fighter 2. Like if you were that big of a Tekken head that you want to go back and play
I would almost say
those.
fighters are almost like a different argument. But you made a good point.
Yeah,
I'd say
that's what
fighters
I
are
mean, is
almost
that-
by themselves, though,
Right.
like because they have a certain nostalgia factor, no matter what they looked like.
Right, yeah.
Because
and
that-
then for like a Metal Gear Solid 1, like that I would actually go back and play if I had that around.
Would you?
I would, because the
Would
stories
you play like the I don't know. I'm trying to think of like the first Resident Evil, but they've already
Yeah, I would
remade
play.
these-
That's another really good example. Is
they've
Resident Evil?
remade
I
these
would go-
games though.
Yes, yeah,
Right?
yeah.
You wouldn't go back to play the original. You just go back to the remake. Like, why would you go to the original?
Well, if you say, okay, you can buy the original that's been upresed for $30, or for $40, you can buy this console that has that Metal Gear Solid, Virtua Fighter games, and a bunch of other shit that you
Original.
can play.
Original games.
Yeah.
Okay.
If you gave me that option, I'd probably opt for that because it gives me more stuff that I could do. At that time, if I'm going through for the gameplay, I could look past the shitty graphics because I know at the time it's dated, and it could look way better now if they redid everything. But instead, I'll just play this game. It's the same to me. It's the same thing as the Arkham games. Like I'll go back and play, Arkham Asylum every so often. Like,
Really?
Well, maybe
So-
once every couple of years, I'll play that game again just because I like the story. It's like revisiting a movie for me.
Right.
And you know the pace at which I fucking clear
yeah,
games.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, I could see somebody having that nostalgic factor for some of these games and be like, I'd love to go back and play through this story again and revisit that whole thing.
I don't know. I'm like I love Mass Effect. I can't go back and play the first Mass Effect game. Won't happen. It's so janky.
That's
well,
a
it's
first-person
janky.
shooter, right?
It's a third-person shooter.
Third person.
It's so there are things I certainly like about it, but it's so dated in mechanics and the way it looks to the point where I wouldn't enjoy it anymore. Like I'm trying to think of like there are these games. We crossed that threshold from 16-bit from basically two-dimensional gameplay, or like we had to build games and be really creative in this box. We couldn't do much more outside of it. We got really good at it.
Yeah.
Then the world exploded, like the technology exploded, and everything that you can do. It's almost compared to like the use of CG.
Yeah.
Like when it was first, invented and we started using it a lot, we just used it in all the wrong places.
True.
And we used it way too much. Now those movies look dated.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely.
Go back. We just talked about Lost in Space. Go back and watch Lost in Space.
It's
with
dog
Matt
shit.
Yeah,
I watched the first like 5 minutes of it because I think I found it on Netflix and I was like,
Yeah.
ugh, and I turned
Yeah.
it off. I'm like,
Yeah.
Joey Tribbiani?
Yeah,
No.
yeah, exactly. And it's got like a full CG monkey character in it, and it's like really awful,
Yeah.
awful looking. But at the time, it looked amazing. The Nintendo Genesis, Super Nintendo, Famicom, Amiga, or like whatever, all of these old systems, they don't suffer from that. They don't suffer from that. Oh, look this, it looks awful now. It's more like, look at this, still looks good.
Yeah.
When I look at a Super Nintendo game that's emulated and we're looking at it on the projector, it looks great. It looks great. It's just, Siphon Filter or, any of these other games for PS1, they don't look great. They look awful. And their mechanics are absolutely dated.
Yeah, but nostalgia and story can carry that across the finish line for some. It does for me, man.
Okay. So it's more, yeah. I'd say it's like a wait and see scenario. I'd be curious to see how nostalgia specifically affects the 3D games, like that next generation of gaming we experienced, that
Yeah.
jump from Super Nintendo to PlayStation or Dreamcast or, like that or 64,
Yeah.
basically, right?
But I think that the good games will bypass that because they had good gameplay mechanics. Like look at like Mario 64.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's dated, but that game's still fucking great.
But I feel that's a good example but the design element on that game I think is impeccable. I think
I
they
agree.
used it right.
Yes.
But there are games that were still popular that did not use that
Right.
technology the
Yeah.
right way because
Yeah.
they were uncontrolled.
Yeah,
You know?
and those ones aren't going to hold up. Those aren't going to be the ones that people buy this system for.
Yeah.
They're buying it for those games, the Metal Gear Solid, like
Yeah.
those ones that had good mechanics then and still hold up now. They're not as good as the newer games for sure, but they were still workable. Like look at like how mechanics have evolved for sports games.
Yeah.
It's gotten to a point now where to me it's unmanageable. I have no interest. I'd rather pick up a ball and go play basketball in a gym than play any of these NBA
Yeah.
games because they're just so complicated.
Yeah.
So you give me the option to play fucking Kobe Bryant's N64 with just a few buttons and an alley-oop button.
Yeah.
Let's do that.
Yeah,
Yeah, it
that's
looks
fun.
like shit, but it's fun.
That's true. That's true.
So
And
there's
yeah.
a market. That's my argument.
Yeah. So let's see. We'll see where that takes us. I had one more thing if we got a bit of time. Or are we up?
We're at like an hour.
Okay.
It's up to you. How long is this?
Well, the only other thing I wanted to mention was Genndy Tartakovsky.
Yes.
He's an animator that did like the Clone Wars 2D
Yeah.
animated thing, and he's done a bunch of Samurai Jack, and he's coming out with a new miniseries called Primal, and this thing looks amazing. It looks so good. It is violent. There's no dialogue in it because it's about just like a caveman like
Yeah.
trying to survive with dinosaurs and mammoths and shit. And it's animated impeccably. Like it looks like he's been given complete free reign.
Yeah,
To
it
make
looks
this
incredible.
And it's ridiculously violent and
Yeah.
intense, but also has that charm. It's so colorful, like impeccably designed. It looks great.
Right.
I'm really excited about this. I can't wait to see it. I don't know if you've seen any content from Prime.
Yeah, I saw the trailer for it, or whatever it was that they released. It looks good. Like
Yeah.
he was fighting what? Like woolly? No, was it a woolly mammoth or T-Rex? Or
Yeah, or something.
He's
yeah,
fighting
yeah.
something big.
He's kind of got this like raptors,
Pack of raptors
like,
with him?
like
Yeah.
somehow. So he's made like friends with these.
He's
whatever.
basically Chris Pratt with a loincloth.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
right.
So
That's
Chris
right.
Pratt
on Tuesdays.
on Tuesdays.
Yeah.
Loincloth Tuesdays. I feel like that's something that works like or more working class folks should try. Loincloth Tuesdays.
I'll try to bring that into my new workplace and see how they like it.
You're gonna lose your job.
Do it after probation. Yeah.
3 months, bitches.
Swinging in with a loincloth.
Loincloth Tuesdays. 3 months in 1 day. Let's go.
Yeah, so that's all I had.
Yeah, that's pretty much it for me. I had intended to keep this one a little shorter.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
Let's keep it short. We've got It Chapter 2.
Yep.
A review coming up. I'm hoping we can watch a couple of other things for Halloween, like the horror stuff. I'm hoping to get some other content out there. Like I have a couple of things on the back burner. I just haven't been able to get to them. But it's a good month. Favorite time of the year. We'll try and tailor the content for that, and then we'll jump into the month of November, which really doesn't. It's just kind of a lull.
It is a lull.
All right, let's call it.
Let's call it.
All right, see you guys.
Take care.